everybody. My name is Rachel, and I'm going to be reading you a chapter from Save Me a Seat. So, I want you guys to think about what we know so far. What have you learned about all of the characters? How do they act? How do they interact with each other? So, keep that in mind as we continue to read throughout the story. But one thing I do want you to keep in mind and remember from the previous chapter, chapter 15, is when Miss Frost tells Ravi that assumptions are often wrong. So let's keep that in mind as we continue to read. So we're going to start on page 86, chapter 16, from the perspective of Joe. When Miss Frost comes back to the resource room, she's carrying a tray of 3 hamburgers on it, 1 for her and 2 for me. Did anything happen in class this morning that I should know about, Joe? She asks, tearing open a package of ketchup with her teeth and carefully squeezing a squiggly red line onto the top half of her bun. So let's stop there for a second. Why do you think Miss Frost is asking this? Do you think she already knows what happened that morning? If so, why is she asking Joe if she already knows? Okay, let's continue. I'm already done with my first hamburger and about to start on the second one. I should have asked for 3. I spazzed out a little when Mrs. Beam asked me to read, I say. Did you tell her about my APD? Miss Frost nods. I reach for a carton of chocolate milk and try to open the spout, but the paper keeps ripping. Miss Frost takes it from me and uses her fingernail to pull open the milk. Then she hands it back. I was wondering if anything happened with Ravi in class this morning, she says. It's Ravi, I say. And Dylan tripped him right after he did some crazy-looking math problem on the board. Is that what you mean? He seems to think you were the one who tripped him. I shake my head. Maybe he's not as smart as he thinks he is, I say. After school gets out, my mom is sitting in the car waiting for me. We go through the same routine as the day before. She tries to convince me to let her give me a ride home, and I tell her I'd rather walk. I walk to school in the mornings too. I don't get mad often, but when I do, I always stay mad for a while. I have a couple of bucks in my pocket, so I stop in the mini market on the corner to buy a snack. So let's stop there again, and I want you guys to think about why does Joe get mad at his mom? He's obviously mad at his mom that his mom tried to offer him a ride home, but why is that? Why is this alone time walking home from school so important to him? And why does he get mad over it? Okay? So that's something to think about. Let's keep reading. I had been planning to get a bagel and cream cheese, but instead I decide to buy a king-size bag of peanut M&Ms. Ever since I saw Ravi take out a double blue one out of the bowl, it's been bugging me that I didn't find it first. I pay for the M&Ms and rip open the pack. Out of 22, there are 5 blues, but no doubles. I eat them slowly, sucking off the layers, trying to make them last the whole way home. When I finally walk in the door, Mimi comes running. She rolls over on her back, and I give her a good belly scratch. Mom's out in the kitchen, and from the smell of things, I'm pretty sure she's making pork roast and scalloped potatoes. It's going to be hard to stay mad at her if she keeps this up. Joey, Mom calls. Is that you? Yeah, I call back. She comes out of the kitchen, drying her hands on a dish towel. Hungry? She says. My head tells me to go upstairs, but my stomach tells me where there's pork roast and scalloped potatoes, there might be apple crisp too. I'm starving, I say. Dinner won't be ready for another hour, but I just took a crisp out of the oven. You want some? Boy, do I. But between last night with the meatloaf and now this, I don't want her to think I'm a pushover. I'm still mad at you, I tell her. I know, she says. I follow her out into the kitchen where she dishes up a big bowl of warm apple crisp. Ice cream? She asks. I nod. and she puts a scoop of vanilla on top of the crisp. Perfect. I take a bite and close my eyes, letting the taste explode in my mouth like fireworks. Are you ever going to forgive me? She asks. Eventually, I tell her. She gets busy washing lettuce. I'm glad she doesn't ask me about my day. I keep thinking about Ravi said and the way he pointed his finger at me. Even the apple crisp couldn't take the edge off that. More? Asks Mom. No thanks, I say, handing her the empty bowl. I'm good. Okay. So after reading that chapter, let's think. And I want you guys to get more in depth with the idea of Ravi and Joe. And I want you guys to think about, who would you rather be friends with at this point in the story? Would you rather be friends with Ravi or with Joe, and why? And do you think Joe and Ravi will ever become friends with each other? Okay, so thinking about that, and thinking about the different characters in the story, I have a little activity for you guys, and I want you guys to dive into your creative side and have fun with this. So for this, you are going to get a piece of paper and you're going to fold it in half, what they call hamburger style, okay? And on one side, I want you to use your imagination and your creativity to draw a picture of what you think Joe looks like. From reading so far and from the descriptions, what do you think he looks like? And I want you to draw them, okay? And then around his head up here, I want you to write 5 describing words that you think describe him based off of his actions, his thoughts, and his speech. What 5 words do you think would describe him? And make sure these are what you would call $5 words. So don't just say nice. You think he's nice. You could say words like he's thoughtful. Okay? So you do Joe on one side, and on the other side, I want you to draw a picture of what you think Miss Frost looks like. Since these are the 2 characters that we are learning about in this chapter and that are interacting, those are the 2 characters we're going to focus on. So for Miss Frost, you're going to do the same thing. Draw what you think she looks like based off of what we know so far. And around her head, write those $5 words that you think describe her based off of her actions and her speech so far in the story. If you guys would rather do this electronically, you can do the same thing. You can use either Notability or some other creative app to find pictures off the web of what you think these characters look like, and then write those $5 words to describe them. So get creative and have fun with it. So I hope you guys continue to read and learn from it, learn from this story, and have fun. Bye.